haven't watched the second part of the Michael Jackson thing. Not sure if I will.
Alright.
I should. I was told I need to watch When They See Us.
Oh, Ava's new.
Yeah, the one about the...
Central Park 5.
Yeah.
And speaking of Chump, he is still, even though they've been proven innocent, they've been released from prison, he's still saying that they are the ones did it.
Yes, but that's because
and
it fits it fits neatly into his worldview.
But he was integral in their conviction.
Right, but it fits into his worldview, and the other side of that is he has nothing to do with. Why would he have anything to do with their conviction?
Back in the day, he came out a lot saying...
No, but why would anybody listen to him? He's just a businessman in the city. Why would anybody pay attention? And that's where the problem comes in. Is that people were weighing in on something, and the prosecution was taking that into account in some way, shape, or form. And it's like, that shouldn't be part of our criminal justice system.
Nope.
So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't want to watch it. This is what I said before, because I remember the time, I remember the politics. It's like it's just gonna. I bet basically when I want to feel angry, then I go and watch it.
One of my friends had posted that she watched it, thinking it was just going to be a regular 13th, just a documentary that gets you kind of riled up. But she said she had to stop it several times because she was so emotional, because she remembered when it was happening. She lives in New York, and she said that it was so much that if someone told her, I don't want to see it because I don't think I can handle it, she would say, don't watch it. And she's one of these people like you who says, you gotta see this, you gotta watch it. But she said she had to stop so many times that she would tell someone if they are already thinking they're going to be too emotional or it's going to be too harmful to them, don't do it.
Fuck that, watch it. I mean, like I said, I'll watch it, but I know that it's either going to make you go, yeah, that's the way it was, or you just be angry, but be angry at what? Be angry at who? Even the woman that prosecuted the thing has lost her job now.
Yeah.
I think the university or college that she was working for, she's been let go. So it's like, I don't know. I don't really agree with the idea of litigating past behavior today. It's something about that doesn't feel right. It was wrong back then, no doubt. But to sit there and keep going after people for what was normal.
Yep.
It's like, no. It'd be like trying to go after, say, Germans today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and even if they're, say you're from a family, let's use the German thing since they're talking about concentration camps in the United States now. If you're thinking of Germany and you're saying, okay, well, you're from X family, this particular family, and your family benefited from what happened during World War II, and yes, your grandfather or great-grandfather was either convicted or brought up on charges or whatever, should we really be going after that family? I don't know if that's right. But then when you say the same thing about slavery in America, then you have the same problem. Or those companies that benefited off the transatlantic slave trade,
right?
Or all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But then when you look at, say, somebody like Bill Cosby or R. Kelly or even Trump, and you say, well, these things happened 20, 30 years ago. Should we be going after those people?
Well, R. Kelly is current, right?
No, this is.
He doesn't still have women.
This goes back to before Aaliyah.
Okay.
Up till now. See what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But they're going after him. I mean, honestly, they're going after him because of the documentary.
Yeah.
If there's no documentary, they don't go after him. They went after him once and lost.
Yeah.
So, and it took
10 years.
10, 15 years to bring the first case against him. So that was 10, 15 years of him doing whatever he was doing. Good, bad, or indifferent. He did whatever that was happening. So, yeah, I don't know. It's something about that just feels wrong. And I guess that's why we have a statute of limitations on
But some of those things, there are no statute of limitations.
I know, but I think that's why we have it. So I guess it's totally fine if we live in a world of a certain statute of limitations. But then you got to ask, is that time too short? Especially in terms of Trump and what he's been doing.
Yeah.
They're talking about statute of limitations if he becomes president again, which I'm sure a lot of people want him to do.
Oh,
especially those women that I posted about on Facebook.
Especially those men who are backing him, who are part of his little minions.
But they don't get him elected. They can give him money, but they're not getting him elected. The people that are voting for him are those women that I posted about that you love.
What's wrong with these women?
I'm telling you, man, it's women that put him in the White House.
What the fuck is wrong with them?
It was women that put him in the White House. It was conservative Latinos that put him in the White House. It was conservative black folks that put him in the White House. I'm telling you. Because without them, he can't get there. So, yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't know how you fix that issue of how do we deal with having this, we feel a certain way about this thing today. It's just like the thing with Stranger Things. We don't like the fact that there's so much smoking.
And
it's like, but it's a time.
Yeah.
It's a time that when people smoked like this. You thought smoking was cool in the 80s because we watched things where people were smoking in the 80s.
I remember
And we were also watching a lot of the stuff that was happening in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s
right, and
in the 80s, and they were all smoking.
I remember being probably 9 or 10 maybe, and I'm the oldest, and my sister and my 2 younger brothers stole a pack of my mom and dad's cigarettes and were smoking in the attic. So they were 8 or 9, 7, and if I was 10, my youngest brother was 5. 5 years old, smoking. It
was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere to the point where you weren't surprised when middle schoolers and high schoolers were smoking, like trying it for the first time.
Yeah.
That was not a surprise at that time.
No.
The first time I caught my brother smoking, we were at a park, and he picked up someone's cigarette that they threw down.
Ew.
And, it's like, but it was literally everywhere. I mean, every TV show, your rock and roll stars, it was just
yeah, they all did
part of the cult. It was so much a part of the 80s, and it was coming to an end. But it was so much a part of the 80s that it was like, we had cartoon characters.
Yep.
What's his name? Joe Camel. You had all of these things that, Marlboro was everywhere, even though, I never thought about smoking Marlboros as a teenager, because you thought that was for cowboys and white boys, and, they were smoking Marlboros. But I never, even when I started smoking at university, it was never like a thing that you thought about, like, let me go get one of those. No. I'm going to get one of 40 Loves, man. Newports. That's what I'm going after. No, it wasn't until later. It wasn't until later that it was like, maybe you shouldn't be smoking those. Maybe they're.
Why did you choose to smoke?
I don't know.
Because I never saw a purpose in it.
A purpose? Oh, there's a purpose.
No, but I've never done it, so I've never seen the purpose. Like, they're expensive.
They weren't expensive, though.
They were when
They weren't expensive though.
they were when I was broke.
They were less than $2 a pack. I mean, you're talking. They were when they got. I used to say when I was young in university, if I had to pay more than $2 a pack, I'd quit. Think about that.
And then you were up to like 5, 7.
Yeah, exactly. So
for me, they were expensive. They smelled. You were dependent.
But I didn't
them.
grow up with a smoker in the house.
Oh, and I grew up with 2.
I mean, my dad smoked a pipe when I knew, so that the whole apparatus of smoking a pipe is totally different than smoking cigarettes. You don't have like full ashtrays just sitting around smelling up the house. Our house never smelled like smoke ever. It was never, so I never grew up with that negative side of the smoking, and that's probably why I always
our house
I never did that because one, you find an area to smoke in, but also ventilation and fans, and you're even in the wintertime. Yeah, if a group of people were in the basement or whatever, yes. Well, by the next day,
right, you just open all the windows.
yeah, it was out. So, but I didn't, like I said, I didn't grow up with that negative side. I mean, for me, just the idea of, like, say, tobacco sitting there, see, I could smell that all day.
Me too.
You know, because it was pipe tobacco and it was made to smell a certain way, and so it was very different. My dad didn't smoke that long that I don't remember. I don't think I was a teenager and he had quit even smoking a pipe. So I didn't have any of that negative stuff. Now we had aunts and uncles and all those people. They smoked, but they were in Michigan and we were in Delaware. So It's like it wasn't even like you were going over to someone's house and they were smoking. So I wasn't getting the message about smoking outside of popular culture, outside of the magazines, the billboards,
And I was surrounded by it.
Right. You had a way different take on it.
My parents both were chain smokers, and then I want to say when I was like in '86 maybe, so maybe I was about 12, my dad switched from cigarettes to pipe. And I didn't mind the pipe smell, I mind the pipe mess. Because my dad didn't ever clean up after himself, ever. Not one day in his life that I was around did he clean up after himself. So he would have a big mess on the table and stuff on the floor, and he would just leave it.
Oh, hell no. What you're also describing is not smoker culture. You're just describing a culture of
lazy
man behaving a certain way inside of a family, and he that was allowed. It was an allowed behavior.
Well, how the hell was I gonna stop it?
No, I'm not telling you that you should have. I'm saying that it was allowed.
Yeah.
It wasn't looked at as like, I wouldn't have been able to do that and just have my mother come over. She would have yelled at me.
Right.
You know what I mean? She'd have been like, what is wrong with you? It's like,
I didn't raise you like that.
Even my uncle, he's been smoking my whole life as far as I know. But you go to his house and it's not like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
And the person that's doing the most of the cleaning back in the day at his house was him.
Yep.
You know?
Probably still.
Well, now they're separated, but I'm saying that back in the day, it would have been him. So it's a totally different idea of yes, you can have this activity, but you do it in a way that is not, I guess the only word I can think of is trifling. It's not that. It's yes, you are a smoker, but no. Like I remember when we would have family get-togethers, even though every day my uncle was smoking in his basement, right? But when there was a get-together and it was a mix of people and the majority were not smokers, we were outside.
Yeah.
We were in the garage. We were somewhere else.
Right.
You stepped out maybe the back door and you smoked your cigarette and you came back in. You just didn't do it because there were all these other people there in the space that you didn't want to. You didn't want to offend them with the smell. So yeah, smoking is interesting, but they shouldn't. I don't think they should go back and try to change what we know to be true from the past, from the 80s, from the 70s.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, how, like, don't try to make it seem like these things didn't happen.
Right.
That I don't like. Because it's all part of where we came from. It all did happen.
It's the reason why we feel the way we do
And
now.
why we act the way we do
Right.
and make the choices that we make.
Right. That's why we tell our children, don't smoke.
Well, I've never said that.
I have.
I've never said don't smoke.
I have said it. Don't smoke. I'll punch you in your chest.
Yeah, you say that, but I've never said don't smoke.
You want our children to be smokers?
Smoke weed every day.
No. Aaron Maurice, I heard you.
Better than tobacco. Alright, if you want to follow us, you can follow us on the YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We are the Traveling Farrs. If you like the Instagram or the Twitter, Traveling Farrs. If you like the email, travelingfars@gmail.com. And the blog space, the travelingfars.blueberry.net. No E's in the blueberry.
Keep it to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.